Coming to you from the Deep South, this is the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. High impact leadership is not reserved for leaders, and it has nothing to do with your position, title, or rank. However, it does have everything to do with your character. It's time to climb to the next level and beyond, personally and professionally. Now, let's start making it happen with your host, Mac Story.
Before we get started with today's episode, I want to take a few moments and give you a preview of what you're about to hear and also direct you to some other series that I already have completed on my podcast. So you're about to listen to Blue Collar Kaizen, Leading Lean and Lean Teams. You're listening to a 30-part series on that. Today's episode is just one of 30. It's specific to lean leaders, lean managers, anyone who's leading teams of people through process improvement and continuous improvement projects, Six Sigma, those kind of things. It's not about the tools and the methods and all that. It's about how to lead teams of people. So any leader, anybody at any level can get value from this. But I just want you to know that's what this series is about. It's about that specific book. So hope you enjoy it. But I have some other series that may interest you if this series does not. Got a lot of episodes already out there, but I have a book called Blue Collar Leadership, Leading from the Front Lines. It's all about how to become a high impact individual, how to become a sought after employee of choice, an employee that people want to hire and want to promote. That series, there's a 30-part series, starts at episode 65. I have another series on my book, Blue Collar Leadership and Supervision, Unleash Your Team's Potential. That book is for leaders, formal authority leaders who want to learn how to effectively lead people. That series, 30-part series, starts at episode 111. I have another series. It's an 11-part series on my book, 10 Foundational Elements of Intentional Transformation, How to Become Your Best Self. That series starts at episode 158. I have another series on my Blue Collar Leadership and Culture, the 5 components for building high-performance teams. That book is really for the top leader, and it's how do you become the sought-after employer of choice. It's a 30-part series. It begins at episode 179. My wife Rhea and I, this year in 2021, the theme for my podcast this year was all about change. That's why I'm doing this series on Blue Collar Kaizen, Leading Lean and Lean Teams, because it's all about leading teams through change. But we have a 15-part series we recorded together on our book, Change Happens, Leading Yourself and Others Through Change. That series starts at episode 211. And then this Blue Collar Kaizen, Leading Lean and Lean Teams series, the one you're about to listen to, one of the episodes of, it started at episode 230. And will be a 30-part series, so it's going to take a little while to finish it. Hope you find value in some of these series. Let's get to today's podcast. All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping by the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast today. Today we're on part 25 of 30 in this series. Today's chapter is titled Lead the Team. Unleash the Team's Potential is the subtitle. So the first thing I want to tell you is all leaders know there's a huge gap between what the team has to do and what the team is capable of doing. And high impact leaders close the gap, and low impact leaders widen the gap. You get to decide which one of those leaders you want to be, because every leader knows that there's a gap between what the team has to do and what the team is capable of doing. And really what I'm talking about is the gap between what they are doing and what they're capable of doing. To me, it's kind of the same thing. So what they have to do versus what they're capable of doing. So if you want those on your Kaizen teams to do more and be better during and after an event, then you must do more and get better before the event. That's right. What your team does during the event and what your team does after the event has a whole lot to do with what you do before the event. And what I'm talking about is preparation, building relationships, understanding your role as a team leader, not as a dictator, but as a team leader. And so many people, I'm telling you, I've seen so many people, formal authority leaders, who've been thrown into the role of leading a lean team. They just get assigned the task. And many of these people have never, ever in their life had any leadership development training. They can't even effectively, most of the time, lead their own team. And it's for the same reason that they can't lead a Kaizen team. They haven't built relationships. They won't take the effort to build a relationship on the front end. They won't intentionally grow and develop themselves. They haven't. They don't want to. Many of them never will. Those people are not going to be effective at leading their own team, much less leading a Kaizen team. Especially, I mean, if you got a 1 day, 3 day, 2 day, 5 day event, these people know after this short time together, I don't have to do anything for you. I don't have to do anything for you during this time together, and I don't have to do anything for you after our time together. And the team can collude and go against you and make your life miserable as a Kaizen team leader, as a lean leader. So you better be doing some work on yourself in advance. If you're leading teams now and you haven't done that work, well, it's time to get to work. But I'm telling you, if you listen to this podcast, you already doing it. You're trying to get better. But the more intentional you are, the deeper you go, the faster you go, the less frustration you're going to have in your life as a leader. So you're getting the exact results you're supposed to be getting. That may be a hard pill for you to swallow. But whatever that means in life, personally and professionally, as a leader of people, as a leader of teams, you're getting the exact results you're supposed to be getting. Because I'm here to tell you this, if you were supposed to be getting some other results, you'd already be getting them. You're getting exactly what you're supposed to be getting. Again, if you were supposed to be getting different results, you would already be getting different results. That's the way it works. So if the team isn't performing, it's because the leader isn't serving. Think about that. If the team isn't performing, it's because the leader isn't serving. That says the leader is responsible. If you believe what I just said, then you believe leaders should be responsible. If you think, well, no, the team's not performing because of this or because of that, then that means you think the leader's not responsible. Whatever those things are, I'm telling you, if I'm leading the team, I'm responsible for addressing that, correcting that, fixing that, developing people to avoid that. Whatever that means, I'm responsible. That's what being a high impact leader means. It means you say the same thing that I say. I'm responsible. And if you ain't willing to do the preparation and the groundwork internally to make yourself an effective leader, you're still responsible. You're just going to have a screwed up team or a screwed up project or a screwed up life. You may have all of those. Leadership truth is tough to swallow sometimes. The high impact leaders believe they are supposed to serve the team. Low impact leaders, guess what they believe? They believe the team is supposed to serve them. So you think about it as a lean leader, like I used to do as a lean consultant. When I walk into the room, when I first started out, I thought the team was there to serve me. I had a mission. I wanted to collect people together, use their knowledge, use their physical abilities, their mental abilities to accomplish my mission. And I did that, but I was not near as effective as when I figured out my job as a lean leader was to pull these folks together, help them solve their problems, help them eliminate their frustrations, help them learn how to value each other, help them learn how to become responsible, help them learn how to have a better life at work and at home. And I was there to help them. You see, serving is simply a synonym for helping. Some people don't like the word serve. You know, you hear the term servant leadership. That's what I talk about all the time. I don't necessarily call it that because I know a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the word. It's too soft for them. So what I use is the term high impact leadership. Because when you say high impact leader versus low impact leader, everybody already understands that. You don't have to define it. I like to keep things simple. But when you start talking about servant leadership, a lot of people, they don't understand what that means, or they're against it for some reason. And they may not want to know what it means because they're against it from the start. So I use high impact leader versus low impact leader. Doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, you understand that because you associate it with what you do believe. Whatever you believe a leader should be, you know what a high impact leader in that category is, and you know what a low impact leader is in that category. But for me, when I'm talking about it, I'm really talking about servant leadership because I believe that serving is helping. And I believe that it's a leader's job and a leader's responsibility to help the team, the people succeed. You're the lead helper. But a lot of leaders, they don't see it that way because they're low impact leaders. So leadership is about helping others accomplish the mission. And I say it again, helping is serving. Serving is helping, whichever way you want to say it. And what's crazy is a lot of people think that's weak. A lot of people think that's weak. But I'll ask you, and you can ask anybody out there, would you rather report to a leader who wants to help you or a leader who wants to harm you? It's about that simple. That'll get rid of all that warm and fuzzy. It's soft. It's too soft. You can ask the hardest, crustiest blue collar worker you've ever met. You want to report to somebody who wants to help you or somebody who wants to harm you? I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to answer if they're being honest. If they're trying to be silly, that's a different story. I don't deal with silliness. I deal with honesty. You look in the mirror, you ask yourself the same question. You want to report to someone, you want to be on a team with a leader who wants to help you or harm you? Who wants to motivate you or manipulate you? Manipulate you is harming you. Motivating you is helping you. It's helping you accomplish the mission. Your mission, number one, you got to help them see that. If they're on your team, you're leading a team through process improvement, they work in the organization, they're on the team, you got to help them see it's their mission too. If you fail or you don't do as well as you could, it impacts their influence. It impacts how people in the organization see them because they're on the team. You got to help them be able to see the big picture. If they come up with a phenomenal idea and you implement it, you give them credit, you got to help them see how they're going to win. They're going to get a lot of recognition. They're going to get noticed. And as a leader, you've got to give them that recognition. You've got to shine the spotlight on these people. Good and bad. That's part of being a lean leader. If you're a high impact lean leader, you got to help the other high impact leaders understand who the high impact team players are and who the low impact team players are. Because the leaders that I'm talking about, you need to communicate with, they may not be a part of the lean team. But if you're a high impact lean leader, then you've got a great relationship with high impact leaders. They're going to trust you. They're going to trust your opinion. So that's something you just have to do is you got to communicate what you're seeing. Who's making things happen? Who's preventing things from happening? And their leaders probably already know. But sometimes you may be a higher level leader than their leader. They may join your team for a few days or a week to accomplish a specific mission, and you may unleash their potential. That's what this chapter is about, unleashing the team's potential. If you've been doing all the stuff I've been talking about in this series so far, and you're doing it effectively, you're unleashing the team's potential. So you may bring out something in someone that their leader hasn't seen or never, doesn't see. That's because that person is responding to you, to your character. They're relating to your leadership ability. So as a high impact lean leader, your personal mission should be to help increase the influence, or the word leadership is what I define influence is leadership. Leadership is influence, right? So as a high impact lean leader, your mission should be to help increase the influence of everyone on a Kaizen team at the minimum, and everyone in the organization at the maximum. What I'm trying to teach you in this series is not only can you grow and develop that Kaizen team, but if you're like me and you lead hundreds of Kaizen teams, if you lead hundreds of process improvement teams, again, I logged 11,000 hours between 2005 and 2012. I impacted a lot of people. A lot of those people impacted a lot of people. They still are people I never talk to anymore, because I was an effective leader and helped them grow and accomplish their mission, and intentionally help them become effective leaders, because I was teaching all this leadership content, tons of personal growth and development content. People are having a better life at home because I was a better leader. That's what I'm inviting you to do. Don't just go to work, do a job, and go home. Be a leader. Go to a place where people are at, which may be work, and change lives. Help people change their lives. And again, making their workplace better is going to change their life. It's going to improve their life. Helping them learn how to lead themselves in a way that they lead others better, or they interact with others better. You're going to win. They're going to win. So what determines your leadership level? What's going to determine to what degree can you unleash your team's potential? Primarily, it's going to be your character. You've heard me talk about that. If you listen to my podcast, you know that's all I talk about. Everything I talk about is that. That's because that's the foundation. Secondarily, it's going to be your competency. So relative to leading lean, process improvement, continuous improvement, if you're leading a Kaizen event, who you are matters first. Who you are when you walk in the room. Who you are when these people walk in the room and they don't know you, and from that moment they're establishing a relationship with you, or they're resisting having you build a relationship with them. They may have heard all kinds of things about you, true or untrue, before they ever walked in the room. If you actually work in the same organization, they may have an opinion. They may have a bad opinion that you've got to overcome. It may be true or untrue. If it's true, if they got a bad opinion and it's based on truth, it's based on your character. If they've got a good opinion and it's based on truth, it's based on your character. So if you're leading a Kaizen event, who you are matters first. What you know about lean matters second. Now you have to know both, but who you are matters first and the most. What you know about lean matters second and the least. Because I'm telling you, you can walk into a room with high character, be a high impact leader, and never have heard about lean, and lead people for a week and improve processes tremendously. Just because if you can lead and you bring a group of people together and help them synergize, help them bounce off ideas off each other, they all have tremendous knowledge. People know how to improve things. They already know what needs to be improved. What you have to do is unleash the team's potential. Now, if you have a knowledge where you can teach them principles about process improvement, and they bought into you and they bought into making it happen, get out of the way. You're going to accelerate it quickly. So to be highly effective, you need both, but character first, competency second. So to influence your team to deliver exceptional results, you must first become an exceptional leader. Relative to Kaizen, you got to become an exceptional lean leader. You may have to study a whole lot about character development, just like I did. And you may have to study a whole lot about lean tools and methodology, just like I did when I was doing that. And today, I focus only on the people side. I don't focus about the process improvement, except for Indirectly, I do, because character is the foundation for all of this. I just don't focus on the tools any longer. There's plenty of people out there doing that, and not enough people out there doing what I'm doing for you today, what I'm asking you to do for your team and your organization. There's not enough of us. If you're still listening to this episode, I'm here to thank you, because you're one of those people who are invested in your own growth and development that's going to go out in the world and make the world a better place. If you got children or grandchildren and you pass this, what you're learning to them about character development, you're going to help launch them into a world that they may never have even gotten into if you haven't gotten into it first. And yes, some people will ignore you. There's people, most of them in my family, they care less about any of this stuff. You know what? I don't talk to them about this stuff. I'm looking for people who want to change the world, starting with themselves. That's the people I want to talk to. I don't care where they're from, how tall they are, what color they are, where they grew up, what they've been through, what they're going through today. I don't care about all that. All I care about is, do they want to be better? Remember, you don't have to be sick to get better. I don't care how much money they make or don't make. I don't care where they got an education or if they didn't get a much of an education. I'm looking for people who want to grow and develop their character. So if you're listening, you're one of those people. I'm on your team. I'm here to tell you, you're on my team, and I appreciate you. I hope you share this podcast with people. It's free. I don't monetize it. I could. I don't want to. I don't run around telling everybody to subscribe and share and all that stuff. I do occasionally, but not all the time, not very often. I want people like you to do that because you find value in it. I like organic growth. When it comes to growing my business, I don't do cold calling. I don't call and harass people. I don't call people and harass them that have already done business with us. I move on to the next thing. If those folks want to do some more business, they know my number. I just want to help people who want to help themselves in an effort to help other people. So you must have exceptional character if you want to become an exceptional lean leader. And you must have exceptional knowledge of the lean tools. So I want to leave you today with a quote from Henry Ford. Pretty popular quote, but a lot of people don't read. They don't study. They never heard this stuff. That's why I'm sharing it out with you all the time. It's why I put a lot of quotes from a lot of different people in my books. I want my books to be a bridge for anybody who wants to grow and develop themselves, to introduce them to some other people. Now, Henry Ford, though, when you really read and learn about him, he didn't have exceptional character. He actually had terrible character. But he said some great things, but he was doing it more as a manager of people than a leader of people. And maybe in the beginning, he was more of a leader. I hadn't read that much in depth about him to know the entire story and history, but what I know is he had some terrible character, a lot of it, and throughout it showed in his organization and in his family. So anyway, again, I don't care where it comes from. What I'm about to read you from Henry Ford was some really good stuff. He says, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Now, I put it in here relative to leadership, high impact leadership, not low impact management of people, or even high impact management of people. I'm talking about high impact leadership of people. So I hope you go out, unleash your team's potential. Talk to you next time.
Make it happen or someone else will. It might as well be you. Are you serious about taking your career and your life to the next level and beyond? Check out Mac Story's Blue Collar Leadership series books and others, now available on audio, along with paperback and ebooks at Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. Please visit bluecollarleadership.com to learn about Mac's books, programs, special offers, certifications, and more. Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast.